Hi everyone, I'm Mr. Milestone and my channel is all about finding your passion, fulfilling your potential and achieving your goals. In this video, I'll share 10 things you must avoid saying whilst in job interviews. If you're new to my channel and you want to be successful, be inspired and become the best version of yourself, then subscribe below because I post new videos around these topics every single week. So job interviews, eh? They can be some of the most uncomfortable conversations we have to have in our lives. In most cases, this takes part because we're not really sure how we should approach it or what we should say. So let's get straight into tip number 1. The first point is don't speak negatively about your previous company. All that will make them think is when you join and perhaps leave, you'll do the same to them. It will ultimately make you look bad. We've all had bad jobs, bad bosses, bad offices, bad pay. The best way to approach this is to really be more positive. So just say you enjoyed the company, you liked your role, you are growing, you are learning, but I'm ready to take the next step and progress to the next level. If you imagine this from the point of view of the interviewer, so interviewee, why are you looking to leave your job? Well, my boss was a prick. So interviewee, why are you looking to leave your job? Well, I'm looking for a new opportunity to grow. The next thing to avoid saying in job interviews is, I'm amazing at what I do, or I'm the best at what I do, or I'm great, I'm this, I'm that. I'm the GOAT, baby. Rather give them stories, give them examples, talk them through how you've overcome certain challenges, and that's what will really bring to life your skills, your experiences, and that's what's going to tell them how good you are and how good of a fit you are for the role that you're applying for. If you've not got any examples in your professional career, think about things you've done in your everyday life that you can apply to that specific job. That will stand you in a really good stead. Avoid giving yourself praise without giving evidence to back up what you're saying. My third point for you to avoid is when asked about your weakness, don't just say, I'm a perfectionist. It's sort of a cop-out, it's an easy way out of this question, and a lot of interviewers will see through this quite easily. So instead, just tell the truth. Talk about a real weakness that you have. Give an example, make sure you've got an example to share, but then talk about how you've learned to adapt or how you've learned to enhance this weakness of yours, how you've identified it and what you're doing to address this and how you've adjusted your working style as a result. If you genuinely are a perfectionist, you can talk about it, but what they expect you to say is how this has maybe held you back or how it's not helped in a certain scenario, but what you're doing to overcome and manage this. That's what they want to see. We've all got weaknesses, we're all human. Nobody's perfect, let's be honest, nobody's perfect. So it's more about knowing your weaknesses and finding ways to adapt, compensate and grow where possible to make sure this weakness is not a big issue when you are taking this role on. The fourth thing you want to avoid doing in job interviews is being too keen to start and acting like you're available straight away. So, when are you ready to start? Right now. I'm ready, I'm good, I've bought the uniform already. Let's go. Because if you were actually a really good or great employee, you wouldn't be able to leave straight away. You couldn't join today, tomorrow, next week if you're currently unemployed. That's totally understandable. You need to get your money, you need to work. Start straight away, that's fine. But if you are employed, whoever you're being interviewed by expects you to have a notice period. Not only to give the employer time to set up things on their side, but to show you've got high value because your current employer is losing a big asset in you. And what I'd say is just try to calm yourself down because it's very easy to get caught up in the excitement of a new role, a new salary, you want that money. You're already planning what you're gonna do with that new money in your head. So just stay calm, give that notice period, be relaxed. And if things work out, everything will fall into place. Don't rush it, don't force it, and try where you can to give a decent notice period because it will just make you seem like you've got a higher value to any potential employer. The fifth thing you should avoid doing in a job interview is sharing your current salary. It never works out well, I promise you. All it does is cap your earning potential. So for example, so what's your current salary? I want 18 grand. Great, well for this role, the salary is £18,010. Does that work for you? They'll just use that to estimate what you'll be happy with, what's a relatively decent increase in their eyes, and that's obviously not what you want. You want to go for the top end of that salary range. Know what the range is for that job, have an idea of what you'll try to go for before. That'll put you in a really good position. And if you're asked about your current salary in a job interview, rather than telling them, say, what I'm looking for is this amount. Generally, when you do this, they're not going to press for your salary. They'll be happy to take your expectations, and that's what's going to put you in a much stronger position. In fact, it will make you seem much more confident, much more assured. And by doing your research beforehand, you're going to make a very good estimate of what that job should be paying. And remember, your current salary does not reflect what your new salary should be. The new job should define that. So that job, whatever the requirements are, whatever value is placed on that job by the specific employer, that's fine. So don't ever be worried. You might have a situation where you're on one salary, but this new job you're applying for is double what you're being paid now. And that's fine. It might seem scary to you. You might think, hey, is this okay? Is this fair? Am I allowed to do this? Well, yes, of course you are, because if you're qualified for that job with the right skills, the right experience, the right knowledge, then yes, that's the salary you deserve. So don't ever push yourself down and lower your expectations, because the market is paying that money for your skills. So go for it. The sixth thing that I'd recommend you guys all avoid in job interviews is when asked a really difficult question in an area, maybe you're not very confident or you're not sure what it means, rather than saying, I don't know how to do that, or I don't know what that means. So how would you put together a business strategy? Yeah, not sure. Take a pause, stop, think about any examples that are relevant to what has been asked. They might not be the exact same thing, but if there's anything similar, share that example with the employer. Talk them through it, because that will make you seem really calm, confident, and assured. And if you're still not sure when you take that pause to think calmly, ask them for more information. Ask them to explain it in more detail, and in most cases they'll be happy to do so. And remember, when it comes to work, there are many transferable skills in different areas, so just try to link what you can back to that example or that question that they've asked you. The next thing you want to avoid doing in job interviews is asking questions you can find out really easily online. So, do you have any questions for us? Yeah. Where's your office based? When was the company founded? How big is the team? What do you actually do? It will reflect badly on you. It will make it seem like you've not done your research. Rather, what you want to do is get that research done beforehand. Look up their website, social media pages. Think about follow-up questions you want to ask after the research you've done. So you might have seen something really interesting on the website that you want to find out more about. So you might say something like, from my research, I know this about the company. Can you tell me more about that in your own words? That's how you want to position things in these interviews, and that's what's going to make you seem very prepared, very keen, and very passionate about the company and very interested in the job. And that's what will help you stand out. The eighth thing you want to avoid doing in job interviews is saying you've been recommended in. Why? Because it can make it seem like you're entitled because of this reference, recommendation, and referral. So what made you apply for the job? Apply. I was referred in, actually. It's not going to make you look good in any interview. It's not something you want to bring up at all, really. Remember, the employer knows you've been recommended. They know you've got a referral. They are well aware of that. So you don't need to repeat that. And look, I definitely think referrals are a brilliant way to get your foot in the door, but that's all that they're there for. So after that, it's all down to you, your merit, your skills, how good of a fit you really are. But they are great to get your foot in, but that's all that they're good for. Another thing you want to avoid doing in job interviews is saying you're nervous. We all get nervous. It's a natural human reaction, but there are a few things we can do to control that. What you can do to help with your nerves is really slow down. Don't speak so fast. Answer each question thoroughly, speak at a decent pace, don't speak too quickly. If you're not the most extroverted person, prepare a few bits of small talk you can raise to help you and the interviewer feel more relaxed. That will come across a lot better than saying you're nervous. So how do you feel about this interview? Nervous! My final recommendation for you all to avoid saying in job interviews is mentioning your lack of experience. Remember, if you have the interview, if you are there, if they've brought you in, that means you have enough experience. What benefit does it have for you if you bring this up? It's only going to put another doubt in the interviewer's mind. It's going to make you seem less self-assured, less confident in your ability to actually take this job on. So avoid that at all costs. What you can do, however, is talk about how your background might be slightly different than the traditional person applying for this role. My career background is slightly non-traditional, however, my skill set is very transferable to this role, and here's why I think so. And look, they've definitely seen the potential in you already if they brought you forward for the job interview. And you can even ask things like, what about my CV made you confident that I would be a good fit for the role? And with that last question, what you're doing is getting them to reinforce your fit for the role. So you're almost kind of getting in their head and getting them to explain it to you. It's a good tactic to use. So this video was heavily inspired by Jobs with Shay. She's a brilliant career advisor. You can find her details below. If you enjoyed the video, please like, comment below if these tips helped you and if you're starting to apply them now. And if you haven't already, subscribe because I've got lots more content to come. So thanks for watching and let's keep chasing those goals.